You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rudrance for Black and White Sports 2. If you're new to the channel, punch subscribe, like, comment, share. Of course, check out the audio from all of our channels. I mean, hell, there's 4 of them. There's 4 channels. And all of our 300,000 subscribers, you can get that audio wherever you get your podcasting from. So, let's talk about something we've talked about a lot on this channel. Of course, the 49ers, but most importantly, anything revolving around coaches and or quarterbacks on the 49ers. And, of course, the question is, especially for all the Trey Lance truthers, the people out there that are still somehow holding on hope, I still don't know why anybody gets caught up with a QB like that. I've said before, if this year is a dumpster fire for Mac Jones, I'm out on him. I just am. He's getting the offensive coordinator he needs. I think it was a huge mistake for the Patriots doing what they did. But if he shits the bed, I'm out on him. And I don't know what about Trey Lance anybody has exactly seen that would lead them to believe that he should get the call if Brock Purdy can't play. Well, it looks like he's not going to get the call, or at least that's where we heard Adam Schefter the other day very much insinuate. And by insinuate, look, Schefter knows all these guys on the Niners. Coaches, all these guys, all right? And he pretty much tells you they're kind of out on Trey Lance. All right, and my gut feeling is, and I know he's sort of reworked his motion and all these things, but there's no trade market for him. So, and they signed Sam Darnold for a reason, and we got 2 other respected NFL insiders that have now added their rumblings and musings to this, including Albert Breer, which is a guy I like a lot. Let's get to this. So, the 49ers remain hopeful. Both of these are 49ers web zone, but they got the musings from 2 different spots, ESPN and Fox Sports. The 49ers remain hopeful that their injured quarterback might be able to start practicing sometime late in training camp. That would be Purdy. Look, I think we all are hoping Purdy's going to end up being the guy, and the rest of this bullshit will be a moot point. There is a reason they signed Sam Darnold. Perhaps as early as mid to late August. God, I hope so. I hope he's showing that he can really practice and possibly start by the beginning of the year. That would be great. If Purdy, who underwent surgery March 10th to repair the torn unilateral ligament, the UCL, I still don't understand why did it take him so long to have surgery. I think some people said it was because that was swollen. Yikes. Swollen that long? Unbelievable. In his right elbow, isn't ready to start week 1. Trey Lance or Sam Darnold would get the call. After investing several top draft picks and acquiring him, San Francisco likely hopes Lance shows enough in training camp to earn the QB2 job. Guys, that's where we're at with Trey Lance. Can he be the backup? I mean, say that out loud. Can Trey Lance even win the backup job versus Sam Darnold? I got to tell you, you're close to somewhat getting jettisoned possibly out of the league, or at least signing on to practice squads and things of that nature when you can't win the QB2 job. But with a roster built to win now, the choice may not be so simple if Lance doesn't wow his coaches. Quote, I think if Brock Purdy were able to take the first snap of training camp, that's certainly a possibility. He's on track to play week 1, thank God. But we're still building the strength in his arm back up. Quote, I think Sam Darnold might take the first snap of training camp. Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer recently told Colin Cowherd, now that doesn't mean Trey Lance can't come back and work his way forward, but I think they feel like they've already given the guy a lot of chances. Wow. Okay, so let's just play the soundbite.
Finally, I forget your feeling on Sam Darnold, but, there apparently no trade market at all for Trey Lance. Where are we at?
Yeah.
Is he number 3 now in that depth chart?
I think if Brock Purdy were unable to take the first snap of training camp, and that's certainly a possibility. He's on a track to play week 1, but they're still building the strength in his arm back up. I think Sam Darnold might take the first snap of training camp. Now, it doesn't mean Trey Lance can't come back and work his way forward, but I think that they feel like they've already given this guy a lot of chances.
Yeah.
And, here's the thing about it, Colin, right? The kid needs to play, and this is sort of the conundrum they're in. He just hasn't played a lot of football, period, since high school. He played 1 full year in college. The COVID year basically canceled his 3rd year in college, right? He's redshirted as a freshman. And then he goes into the pros and he's redshirted his rookie year. So we're talking about now a 5-year period, if you include last year when he was hurt, where he's only really played 1 full season of football. So he needs to see snaps.
I don't know how he comes back from this, to be quite honest with you. Just missing that much football. And plus, we forget about this. The year he was drafted, a lot of these off-season activities was canceled because of COVID. We haven't talked about that a lot. I keep forgetting that. That same thing can be applied to Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones and even Zach Wilson, God help us all, right? But you get the point, right? If he's not Trey Lance, and this is going to be Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, and what he says, he was on with Rich Eisen. Purdy appears to be ahead of schedule. The 49ers remain optimistic that their second-year QB will be ready for week 1. If he's not, Trey Lance or Sam Darnold will lead the offense against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's going to be a tough game. First game of the year, I can't wait for that. My God, Steelers, 49ers. What is ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler hearing about the quarterback situation in Santa Clara? Quote, I will say this, and this has persisted for a while. When the 49ers signed Sam Darnold early in free agency and gave him decent money, Fowler told Rich Eisen on Monday, and considering people have always just sort of been enamored with him around the league, for better or worse, I'm going to tell you, Kyle Shanahan gets fascinated by quarterbacks. Certain quarterbacks he's always just had an eye on. Sam Darnold is one of those guys. Kirk Cousins is the other, by the way. And yes, the 49ers and the Rams are sniffing around on Cousins, by the way. Despite the struggles, there are a lot of people around the league that thinks he'll play meaningful snaps for San Francisco this year based on why they signed him, when they signed him, and just some of the ability, and he's a perfect fit for Kyle Shanahan's offense that might actually bring out the best in him for once. Quote, and I'm so curious to see how that plays out. It's like choose your own adventure with them too, because Trey Lance, the issue seems to be accuracy in the limited time that he has played. But they really don't know what they have. Even when you talk to people over there, they're like, he just has not played enough football to evaluate him. He's a hard worker. He does a lot of good things that we still liked when we drafted him 2 years ago. They're in a tough spot with it. So, look, this is the thing here, though. And this is why I was like, when they traded up to 3, I was like, what are they doing to begin with? Because Jimmy Garoppolo was hurt a lot. Okay, I kind of get that. But the problem was you had a win Super Bowl now roster. You don't have time for a quarterback to develop for 2 seasons or 3 seasons. You don't have time. Your Super Bowl window may be 4 seasons or 5 seasons tops. You're going to blow 3 seasons of that on a rookie quarterback? And on top of it, you draft a quarterback that had just played so little, missed the COVID season, and like was said on there, he hasn't played hardly at all in 5 years. Trey Lance actually kind of needed to go to a situation that was stable, but where the team was pretty good, okay, but not quite, maybe teetering on the playoffs, but not a clear Super Bowl favorite, right? Where he could literally sit behind and then play, 3 seasons of preseason football and just take snaps. And it just hasn't happened, and he's gotten injured and all of this. And I think what is going to happen here, my guess, is that the 49ers are going to be really careful with Brock Purdy, okay? I think Brock Purdy's the guy. He's going to end up being the man on this team. I'm not sure there's any real controversy around that, except Kyle Shanahan does seem to love some Sam Darnold. And I do think Kyle wears a badge of honor if he thinks he could make a quarterback, a veteran QB, blow up all of a sudden. One that nobody's been able to do enough with. Oh, look what I did with Sam Darnold. He threw 30 touchdowns. That would be pretty damn impressive all of a sudden. And teammates already love Sam. We've seen that. So you got to wonder, is this going to be, I feel like this is headed to a situation where Trey Lance gets released. I think he gets released next year. I've got to be real. I don't think there's going to be a trade market. At best, they might get a 6th or a 7th for him. But I think that's where it's headed, really and truly. Unless something happens and he ends up in midseason this year and rattles off 7 wins in a row, throws 20 touchdowns and 5 picks, I think Trey Lance will be on another team next year. And who knows from there what will happen. Tell me what you think, Black and White Sports supporters. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.